Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I've decided to do a power ranking video to kick the season off. Normally, I don't do one until about 10 games into the season, but guys, I've gotten a lot of feedback on my division prediction video, so I was like, maybe I'll explain the whole league as a picture in a power ranking style of video. So we're going to jump into that. Before I do, guys, please subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm on my way to 1,000, really hoping to get there this season. I really expect to, but I also want to reward people that are here from the get-go as well. Going to be doing a giveaway once we hit 1,000 subs for a hat. So if you want to be a part of that, you got to be a subscriber. So jump on into that. And guys, we're going to jump into it. We do these power rankings normally every Sunday, usually comes out around 5 p.m. Pacific time before the late night game, or probably more while that game's going on. But yeah, we're gonna jump into it today. Season starts tomorrow. Hope you guys are as pumped as I am. But number 30, we got the Oakland A's. Don't really think they have much of a shot to do much this year. We all know they're heading over to Las Vegas. I think for the most part, they haven't really tried to put too much of a team on. For me, as I'm not like a casual fan, but I don't follow every team to a T, and for me, when I'm looking at the A's roster, I don't really recognize much of anyone, so I think we're going to see a lot of the same that we saw last year with the A's. Number 29, we got Colorado Rockies. This is a team that has some core guys that are relatively great, but I don't know if they're going to be able to compete. A, this division's super stacked, and B, they have a lot of injuries, especially to their starting pitchers, that has me concerned. Colorado is always a wild card, especially early in the season. The ball likes to fly. It's definitely cold in Colorado. It's going to be a different kind of situation early in the season. Sure, we're going to have some surprises early, but I don't suspect they will be one of them. Next up, we got the LA Angels. Ohtani's gone. We got a new look Angels. Of course, Mike Trout continues to be a staple on this team. But other than him, they have a bunch of number one first-round guys on this team, but I just don't know if they have what it takes, especially in the pitching side of things, to really compete. But who knows? When you have Mike Trout, maybe we'll get something going. Apparently, Rendon is leading off for the Angels starting the season. Might as well take advantage of that. We'll see how that goes. Number 27, I do have the Chicago White Sox. Got probably the number one feedback in my division preview video was that I had the White Sox in third in that division. I'm still not sure, and we'll get into the rest of the Central quickly here, but I don't know about the White Sox. Sure, on paper, all the analytics, all the other people are kind of saying they're going to be terrible. So I see that, but I also see a team that addressed a lot of their weaknesses in the bottom of their lineup. Their added rotation, of course, the rotation isn't full of aces or anything like that, but they do have MLB level caliber pitchers. So I don't think they're going to be as bad as people say, but after the feedback, did do the research, I guess overall on the power rankings, 27, they'll have to earn their due, I guess, to go up. Number 26, we got the Washington Nationals. I think pretty much a staple to be bottom of the division. As you can see here, we got two teams in the West. We got our second National League team here. And in a competitive division where you got teams ahead of you like the Marlins, who on paper look better. They were better last year. Analytics probably on their side. Washington didn't really do too much to try to improve their club this year. It's probably going to be another one of those long rebuilding seasons for the Nationals. Next up, 25. I got the Royals, and honestly, I think this is a team that this is where there might be their low point of the season. We might start to see some of their younger talent start to drive into some sort of stardom, maybe. We might see Witt finally carry a team on his back. We've never really seen this team rebound from their World Series days, so it might start to be that time where they've hit the bottom and they're going to start trending up. We saw that happen with the Diamondbacks last year. We saw that happen with the Orioles last year. Kansas City might be that team we're talking about this year that's starting to make the turn, but it might be not until next year where they're really coming forward. So that's a team I like to watch. Number 24, a team that I always love watching in April. In April, they always seem to have a potential, and that's the Pirates. And Pirates, last year, April was one of the hottest teams in the league, and they completely fell flat. I think they got middle of the pack last year in terms of power rankings. I'm not getting super excited about them. They've had an okay spring training, right? And they do have a lot of names on their team that are capable, but this division is probably one of the most exciting ones for me. I think all 5 teams in this division have a chance to take the division. And right now, based off this, I am ranking the Pirates at the bottom, but things could change really quickly. Next up, we do have the Marlins. I know they really skyrocketed. I really held them down last year on the power rankings, and I'm right back kind of where I was before with them. I don't know if they have what it takes to really be a super competitive team with the top playoff teams in the league. Lacking Alcantara, it's going to be a big issue maybe early, but they do have Mayer coming back, been pitching, expected to be in that lineup now, coming back from Tommy John, so we'll see if he can be taking a little bit of that role that Alcantara did. Again, early days. I'm not going to try to hold too much in there. Number 22, I have the Detroit Tigers. And this is a team I'm excited to watch a lot this season. Kerry Carpenter really mashed in that 4-hole late last year. And some of these young guys, they're another one of those teams like the Royals that have been getting up since some draft picks and stuff. So this is really going to be the first time we're going to see the Tigers without Miguel Cabrera, who has been a staple of this team for so long. So I'm excited. It's time for a new generation of Tigers to step forward. And again, Central, it's going to be one of those teams. They were third. And as you can see, I already have 3 teams, and we're going to 22. And we're going to get to the 4th team by 20. So, this is up for grabs. 2 through 5, in my opinion, up for grabs. In that Central Division. Next up, 21, I have the Mets. And after a disastrous season last year, kind of giving up, selling off, they sold off any potential, I think, on this season. We're going to have to see Starling Marte really step up huge if this team's going to move up in this power rankings. They got 2 strong powerhouses ahead of them in this division. So the National League East, we got 3 teams again up here already. So this one's a very top-heavy, and bottom seems to be a tale of 2 different teams for me. Number 20, we got the Guardians. I touched on it. Don't know what else to say, really, with the Guardians. They got Ramirez, who is always a fantasy powerhouse. Can he carry a team? A lot of young guys I don't recognize or that were there from last year. They were competitive last year, and they didn't really do too much that would take them out of the conversation as being the second best team in this division. But I don't know. I just don't. When it's all tied up in a couple of guys, I get worried that that's going to really hold them back. And I see these younger guys in Detroit and Kansas City really fighting for these spots. Next up, number 19, we got the first team in the AL East. We got the Boston Red Sox. They, to me, are quite a bit behind some of these other teams in the AL East. Last year we saw the AL East, all of them in the top half of the league for majority of the season. Boston was included in there. But they lost a couple of key guys that they've been using to kind of bolster them the past few seasons. Verdugo, Sale's gone. I know he never really got going in Boston, but now he's gone to Atlanta. So Boston, I don't know what to really expect from them. It kind of feels like a rebuild, but again, it's the AL East. Again, it's Boston. So I'm ready to be proven wrong. Season starting, right? Number 18, Cincinnati Reds. Middle of the season, they were probably the hottest team on this power rankings board. I think they went from the second bottom row all the way up to way high. They had one of the longest winning streaks, if not the longest. I can't recall last year. But yeah, they got a lot of young guys, a lot of the returning guys. I just am not sold completely that they're going to be able to put it all together in time here for a tough season. They're in a competitive division, and it's up for grabs. I'm excited to watch this one. Next up, I think we're going to have to go through a bunch of National League Central here. We've got the Milwaukee Brewers. Again, another team that kind of didn't take any major steps forward, but they do have one of the highlight reel guys that we're going to be watching early on in the prospect watch on their lineup. He made the lineup for sure. So I think with that, again, they have a rotation. They lost Burns. Woodruff's out for the season. Those 2 guys have been a staple of this Brewers pitching rotation for years now. And it was a big reason why I had predicted them to get past the first round of the playoffs last year, because of those 2 guys. They still got pitching. It's still there. But is it going to be as consistent as we're used to? I am not so sure. Number 16, I got the Cardinals, a team that was a staple in the bottom row last year. And they just had an atrocious season, I had thought they would be much better, and then it kind of quickly unraveled on them, and I jumped off the wagon pretty quick. I think we're going to see a little bit of a rebound this year. Do I have anything really to support why? I guess not really. Not really any big changes coming in. Sonny Gray's coming in. He's dealing with a hamstring. Will he be ready early on? I think so, but he's, I guess, the big signing for them, and that's what they needed. They didn't really have anyone solid rotation last year. So if Sonny Gray can be anything like he was last year, it's going to be very big for them. Number 14, we got the Giants. Another team that I often am a staple of underrepresenting on this board. So I'm going to start them a little higher than maybe I would have in the past with the same kind of team, because they always seem to surprise me, and I'm not ready to be surprised by them this year. So we got Giants, number 15. I don't really think with this division, like I talked about already with Colorado, do think Giants are ahead of Colorado. But then we still got 3 other teams that they got to jump on, and I don't think we're going to see 4 teams coming out of this going into the playoffs. 3 might be a stretch. We saw it last year. Or no, we didn't. We didn't see it last year, but 3's always going to be a stretch. So to have a 4th team in there, I don't really see it happening. Number 14, I have the Chicago Cubs. This is really tough. So this middle row here, to me, is they could all be interchanged. You can make arguments. Anyone could move up. Anyone could move down. It's really a middling team of teams that I think are going to be competing for playoff spots along the way. I think with the Central here, is this the highest? I think this is the highest team in the Central, because we got 4 teams here in the National League Central and the Pirates. So that's the highest team. That just goes to show how close it is. When I did my prediction video, I think I picked Cardinals to win the division, but after the one, I do think on paper, what we've seen so far, the Cubs might be more powerful. I'm going to stick with my predictions in that video. Number 13, we got the Tampa Bay Rays. A team, again, there's a few teams that I'm famous for underrepresenting. Tampa Bay might be one of them, but I think personally that it's finally time that it's all going to catch up for them. They can't keep rebuilding this team and not spend the money, right? They can't just keep doing it. I just figured they can. Maybe they can, but we saw Wander Franco. He's gone. We saw them trade Glass now. We saw McClanahan's out for at least a little while here. So what will Tampa Bay be able to do without some of these guys, some of these no-name guys? There's always someone that shows up for Tampa Bay. So I'm excited to see who that is. Going to get first taste of them because they are playing my Blue Jays first series starting tomorrow. I'm excited to watch that. Number 12, San Diego Padres. So we have the teams that often over put down. In San Diego, I've been accused of putting too high too often, but I just think their players are good enough, and they've addressed, in my opinion, their biggest weaknesses in the bullpen this offseason. I think they signed 6-7 bullpen arms, and hopefully that does some impact. We saw them early, play 2 games already against LA. They put up massive runs, and we might see the offense that we saw San Diego slam Diego might be back this season. I'm going to give them some credit to be back at least early. Number 11, we got Seattle. Seattle's been a very competitive team over the past couple of years now, so I'm going to start giving them some respect. Didn't really make any massive splashes, right, to really bolster them into a top 10 team. Arguably could probably be more on par with this bottom row as opposed to the teams that we're about to talk about. But Seattle is in that division that is going to be competitive. Houston, they got their issues. Texas, reigning champs, sure, but they got their issues as well. So I expect Seattle to be right there in the hunt. Number 10, I got my Toronto Blue Jays. And I don't know, I am not feeling good about them at all this season. And I still had to put them 10th. And I don't have any reason, I guess, to really get too disappointed in them early. They still got a solid lineup, 1 through 9. Their rotation's still top 10 in the league for sure. And they got a solid bullpen, so they should be very competitive. But the AL East seems to just keep getting better, while the Jays aren't doing anything to get better. So they might have missed their window. This could potentially be the highest they are this season, because immediately they're playing Tampa. And we know how Jays and Tampa series typically go. And right after that, we could see Tampa hop over them, and that could be it for the Blue Jays. We'll see. Again, this is why we play the games. Number 9, the people that put an end to the season for the Jays last year, we have the Minnesota Twins. I think they're the clear favorite, and that does help them in a power ranking setting in the American League Central. As you can see, the second one is at number 20. So the Twins should walk away with this division. In my opinion, it should be theirs to lose. It is theirs to lose. Pablo Lopez, clearly one of the best pitchers in the league, still a big staple of this team, and I expect the offense to continue to do what it was doing last year. Number 8, we have the pennant at National League reigning champs. We got the Diamondbacks. Sure, normally if you have been a fan of this channel for many years, you know 1 and 2 were typically the World Series guys, but kind of did a little different here. Hint, hint, that's something that's coming up. But the Diamondbacks, they're great. Their rotation, maybe possibly the best in the entire league, but I'm not sold that their offense is going to be able to win the games that it did last year. Sure, I still think they're a top team. They're going to be in the playoffs, in my opinion. But this division in the National League West, like, we got a competitive team in the Rockies. We got them 29, but when you're playing half the games against them at Coors, anything can go. So it is going to be a little concerning. We could see the Diamondbacks fall back down to earth. I've tried to give them a little bit of what I expect already. Number 7, I got the New York Yankees. I did predict them to win the division in that video. However, I do want to respect that they aren't necessarily the most powerful team in this division as of yet. The pitching is definitely up for question, but they definitely made some big changes in the offseason, bringing in Juan Soto, got Aaron Judge. Their lineup is probably the most scary one, maybe in the league, at least the top half for sure. Yankees, I expect them to be in it this year. They were in it last year. I think I got them in the top row for the first little while, but just the wheels came off. Orioles really made a stand, and that's where I got next. I got the Baltimore Orioles, number 6. A lot of people have them a lot higher. I'm not ready to give them that yet. They're a young squad. They had a great season last year, but we saw them exit early in the playoffs, so that a little bit concerning. You got to have some playoff caliber oomph to get up there. At the same time, they're top of their division, so I do want to give them a little bit of credit that these young guys, they bring in Corbin Burns, they made some big changes. They got a new owner who I know everyone is excited about, so maybe they're ready to spend, and we could see them move up relatively quickly, especially if they get off to a hot start. Number 5, I got the Houston Astros. I do think they are the team to beat in the American League West. However, having lost to the Rangers in that series, it was epic last year. I do want to give the Rangers a little bit more credit right now. Houston still dealing with some pitching injuries that they need to recover from, and if they don't have a good start, they could get behind the 8 ball relatively quickly, and that is not going to be good. They can't have a bad start. I'll start to get a little concerned for them. Number 4, we have the Phillies. If they were in any other division, I would be super confident in the Phillies, but the fact that they have to play Atlanta however many times, it always seems to bite them in the butt throughout the season. Sure, they beat them in the playoffs last year. Sure, it's happened. But the season, power rankings-wise, they just don't seem to have Atlanta's number. And rightfully so, Atlanta is a top-tier team. Phillies, on the other hand, also a top-tier team. Excited to see those two teams match up time and time again. We got the top team in the American League. I think overall I have them at number 3, Texas Rangers. This could be a quick number 3 for them, because if they don't come out of gunfire, it's similar to Houston, we can see them dropping down. World Series champs, right? Got to give them a little bit of respect early on. But the pitching is very concerning. Eovaldi, their number 1 ace, but after that starts to fall off pretty quickly. But giving them credit, that offense has been electric in the past, and I think they're just as good if they brought back pretty much everyone the same. And I watched them 3 times last year in Toronto, and they just absolutely destroyed Toronto. Number 2, I got the Dodgers. I'm hoping Ohtani can assuming he's playing and all that gambling stuff goes away. But the Dodgers are a team that everyone has they're like the target. Everyone's chasing them. Understandably, they spend a ton of money 4 or 5 years in a row every year. They seem to be bringing in a new monster free agent ever since Mookie Betts came in there. So just absolutely crazy. I do think they're number 2, because I do think number 1, we have the Atlanta Braves, and Acuna, I think, is the player to chase in this league as a whole. He's an all-around 5-tool player, and he's been absolutely amazing at Atlanta. 1 through 9 is elite baseball batters, and they're going to be the team everybody is chasing this season, because that's just how I feel it is. let me know what you guys think. Let me know about this rankings. I know it's before the season starts. Anything can happen, but we're not going to do the first one for about 10 games. There'll be a pretty big shakeup the first week, but then the picture over time starts to really show itself. So let me know what you guys think. Comments below, like, subscribe, join the community. We have a Discord where people are active and stuff like that. So reach out, and thanks for watching. We'll see you for that next video.